Have you ever walked into your home and felt a heaviness in the air, a tension you couldn't quite explain, or noticed a streak of bad luck that seems to shadow your every move? It's easy to blame outside circumstances or the whims of fate, yet sometimes the source of this energy lies closer than we think, in the very objects that surround us. Everyday household items, seemingly harmless, can subtly influence our mood, our focus, and even the flow of fortune in our lives. Carl Jung's insights into the psyche remind us that our unconscious mind is deeply responsive to symbolism and energy, meaning the things we keep in our environment can unconsciously reinforce feelings of fear, stagnation, or unease. Could it be that something as simple as a household object is shaping your reality without your awareness? The good news is that by recognizing these objects and understanding their impact, you can shift the energy in your home and, in turn, in your life. Your home is more than walls and furniture. It is a reflection of your inner world, and when certain items remain, they may anchor energy that keeps you stuck in cycles of misfortune until you choose to release them. From a Jungian perspective, our environment is a mirror of our unconscious, filled with symbols that influence our thoughts, emotions, and life patterns. Objects in our homes often carry psychological meaning, consciously or unconsciously reflecting unresolved conflicts, repressed emotions, or shadow aspects of ourselves, the parts we have ignored or disowned. Negative patterns, repeated misfortunes, or inexplicable tension can emerge as a reflection of these unintegrated aspects, subtly shaping the energy in our space. Jung also highlighted the importance of synchronicity, the meaningful alignment of events, which can reveal the influence of these objects on our lives. Removing certain items is not simply about tidying up. It is a symbolic act of releasing what no longer serves us and integrating aspects of our shadow that we have overlooked. By understanding the symbolic weight of objects in your home, you create the opportunity to clear fear, stagnation, and misfortune, replacing them with harmony and balance. With that in mind, let's explore the 4 household items that may be silently holding your life back and learn how removing them can restore flow and alignment. The first objects that quietly anchor misfortune in your home are the broken or unused items that linger in corners, drawers, or shelves, gathering dust and energy alike. A cracked mirror, a chipped vase, or a neglected trinket is more than a simple object. It is a symbol, silently reflecting parts of your psyche that have been ignored or left unresolved. In Jungian terms, these items resonate with the shadow, the unacknowledged and often disowned aspects of yourself. Their presence creates subtle stagnation. Even if you do not consciously notice them, they generate a heaviness that manifests in repeated frustrations, minor accidents, or a pervasive sense of unease. Consider a cracked mirror. Every glance, even unconscious, reminds you of fractured or unresolved aspects of your inner life. A forgotten, broken vase becomes a quiet emblem of neglected emotions, gathering unseen weight in your environment and influencing how you move through the world. Life begins to reflect the incompletion these objects represent. Arguments flare unexpectedly, opportunities feel blocked, or daily irritations accumulate, and yet the source remains unseen. These items are not curses. They are messages from the unconscious, signaling that there are parts of yourself that need attention. Removing, repairing, or replacing them is a symbolic act of alignment, a way to clear both physical space and psychological blocks. It is more than tidying. It is an acknowledgement that what we hold on to externally often mirrors what we resist internally. By letting go of broken or unused objects, you allow your home to reflect wholeness rather than incompletion, creating space for clarity, flow, and renewed energy. The first step in transforming your surroundings and yourself is releasing the items that silently tether you to stagnation, inviting harmony and subtle shifts in the way life moves around you. The second category of household items that can subtly attract misfortune are those tied to negative associations, the objects that carry echoes of past pain, heartbreak, or loss. These are not simply items. They are vessels of memory and emotion, silently holding energy from experiences that your psyche has yet to fully process. Carl Jung reminds us that the unconscious does not distinguish between present reality and symbolic or emotional residue from the past. A gift from a toxic relationship, a souvenir from a particularly painful event, or even a photograph that triggers unresolved grief or anger can all act as anchors, keeping old wounds active within your consciousness. Every glance, every unconscious acknowledgement can stir shadow material, the parts of yourself that are wounded, rejected, or unhealed. These objects, intentionally or not, perpetuate patterns, inviting similar challenges or emotional turbulence into your current life. You may notice subtle effects, recurring arguments, inexplicable anxiety, or a general sense of heaviness whenever you are around these items. The key is awareness. Take time to observe which objects consistently evoke discomfort, dread, or low energy. Their presence is a signal that certain emotional content is unresolved and needs attention. Letting go does not mean forgetting or denying the past. It means consciously choosing to release its hold on your present. You might store these items away, transform their meaning through ritual, or physically remove them from your environment entirely. Each act of release is an act of psychological and energetic empowerment, a way to reclaim space that has been unconsciously occupied by past pain. By clearing these objects, you create room for experiences that support growth, emotional healing, and more harmonious relationships. The second step in aligning your home with your inner psyche is recognizing and releasing the items that carry negative associations, transforming your environment from one of subtle constraint to a space of clarity, renewal, and potential. The third category to be mindful of in your home is clutter and excess, the accumulation of objects that serve no real purpose, yet occupy both physical and psychological space. Clutter is not just a matter of disorder, it is a reflection of inner chaos, an external mirror of unprocessed thoughts, unresolved emotions, and shadow content that has not been integrated. In Jungian terms, the environment often projects the state of the psyche, and a cluttered home can signal that parts of yourself are neglected or unresolved. The constant presence of excess items, piles of papers, unused clothing, random knickknacks, creates a subtle yet persistent drain on energy, making it harder to focus, think clearly, or feel emotionally balanced. For many, clutter is accompanied by small daily frustrations, misplacing items, feeling disoriented, or facing minor accidents and obstacles that seem to arise from nowhere. These are the unconscious consequences of a space that is overwhelmed and out of alignment. The remedy is both practical and symbolic. Begin by decluttering systematically, keeping only what serves a purpose or brings genuine joy, and letting go of what no longer contributes to your life. Each item removed is not just a physical act, but a psychological gesture of reclaiming space for clarity, calm, and creativity. By clearing clutter, you are actively reshaping the energy of your home and your own mental landscape, creating a supportive environment that mirrors the order, balance, and intentionality you wish to cultivate in your life. The removal of excess is a quiet, powerful act of alignment, signaling to your psyche that you are ready to integrate neglected parts of yourself, release stagnation, and invite clarity, focus, and opportunity. Clearing clutter is more than tidying. It is a symbolic declaration that you are choosing presence over distraction, flow over stagnation, and harmony over chaos, cultivating a home and a life that reflect the order you seek internally. The final category to consider in your home is objects that symbolically invite fear or negativity. Items whose imagery or associations subtly reinforce low energy and misfortune. These can include figurines, artwork, or decorative pieces that depict aggression, darkness, or despair. And while they may seem harmless at first glance, their repeated presence can unconsciously influence mood and perception. Carl Jung emphasized the profound power of symbols. The unconscious mind absorbs and reacts to recurring motifs, often outside of conscious awareness, shaping emotions and thought patterns in ways we do not immediately recognize. Objects with dark or fear-inducing imagery act as mirrors of unresolved inner tensions, projecting shadow content onto the environment and perpetuating cycles of anxiety, caution, or negativity. A painting that evokes sadness, a figurine representing conflict, or a talisman tied to ominous connotations can all function as subtle triggers, keeping the psyche attuned to fear rather than growth. Evaluating these items requires mindfulness and honesty. Notice which objects consistently evoke discomfort, unease, or oppressive energy, and consider removing, replacing, or reframing them to shift the atmosphere of your home. The act of clearing these symbolic triggers is not merely aesthetic, it is a psychological and energetic intervention. By consciously choosing to eliminate items that resonate with fear or negativity, you create a space that supports emotional stability, clarity, and well-being. This is an intentional alignment of your environment with your desired mental and emotional state, reinforcing confidence, balance, and positive growth. In essence, the home becomes a sanctuary rather than a reflection of unresolved shadow material, allowing energy to flow freely and supporting the unfolding of your conscious intentions. By removing objects that anchor fear, you are actively shaping a space that encourages resilience, creativity, and harmony, ensuring that your surroundings nurture the inner life you wish to cultivate. Through this process, every item kept or removed carries purpose, contributing to a home that mirrors psychological health and invites opportunity, clarity, and positive transformation. The insights about objects that carry negative energy are not just theoretical, they are invitations to act, to consciously shape the space that surrounds you. The 4 household items we've explored, broken or unused objects, items tied to painful memories, clutter, and symbols that evoke fear, serve as mirrors of unconscious patterns, subtly influencing your energy, choices, and experiences. Take a moment to reflect on your own home. Which items consistently evoke discomfort, stagnation, or unease? Begin the process of transformation by removing, repairing, or reframing these objects, and observe how your environment responds. Pair this with mindful reflection or journaling, noting patterns in your life that may correspond to the energy your home holds. In Jungian terms, clearing your space parallels the integration of shadow material, bringing awareness to unacknowledged aspects of yourself and creating harmony between your internal and external worlds. When you align your surroundings with your inner balance, you invite clarity, vitality, and a flow of life that reflects your authentic self, turning your home into a sanctuary rather than a repository of unresolved energy. By consciously curating the objects you live with, you reclaim both physical and psychological space, fostering an environment that nurtures growth, creativity, and well-being. As we close, remember that the items you keep in your home are more than just objects. They are extensions of your psyche. Broken items, objects with negative associations, clutter, and symbols that evoke fear all subtly reinforce patterns of misfortune if left unchecked. By intentionally removing or transforming these objects, you are actively shaping a space that mirrors your desired inner state, supporting your psychological growth and emotional resilience. Your home becomes a reflection of your inner world, a sanctuary where clarity, balance, and positive energy can flourish. The choices you make about your surroundings are choices about your life and well-being. By consciously curating your environment, you create a space that nurtures your growth, vitality, and alignment with your true self. This is Echoes of Psyche, where the soul's journey unfolds in harmony with the spaces we inhabit, and every object becomes a mirror for our inner growth.